All right, so today we're going to dive into a pretty huge topic, manifesting money. But we're going to cut through all the mystical stuff and get right down to the actual science and psychology behind how it works. Let's get into it.
So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The one that gets people all fired up. Can your thoughts really change what's in your bank account? Well, you might be surprised to hear the answer has way more to do with science than you'd think. And that right there is the whole key. We're not talking about magic wands or secret spells. We're talking about what's actually going on inside your brain, the practical, repeatable science of your mindset.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about your brain's built-in money filter. What is physically happening in your head that makes any of this work? It turns out you've got this incredibly powerful filtering system running 24/7.
Say hello to your Reticular Activating System, or just RAS for short. Now, think of the RAS as the bouncer for your brain. It's standing at the velvet rope of your conscious mind, and out of the millions of bits of information flying at you every single second, it decides what gets in and what doesn't.
So you're probably wondering, how does this bouncer know who to let in? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You're the one who gives it the guest list. Whatever you consistently focus on, whatever you tell yourself is important, that's what your RAS is programmed to search for in your world. It's like you're setting the search terms for your own personal Google of reality. And here's where the rubber really meets the road. If your internal story is all about scarcity, I never have enough, things are too expensive, your RAS will work overtime to find evidence to prove you right. It'll highlight every bill, every obstacle. But when you flip that switch and focus on abundance, your brain literally starts filtering your reality for opportunities, for solutions, for new ways to earn. Okay, so we've got the neuroscience down, but what about the psychology of it all? I mean, how do these thoughts that your brain is filtering actually turn into, cash in your bank account? It all happens through something we can call the action loop. It kicks off with a simple thought, something empowering, like, wealth is totally possible for me. That thought creates an emotion, right? You start to feel confident, worthy, maybe even excited. And those feelings, they drive your actions. You're way more likely to take that risk, network with that person, or make a bold decision. And of course, those kinds of actions naturally lead to better results.
But here's the thing, and you gotta be really careful about this. This loop works both ways. A negative thought like, money is just so hard to get, creates feelings of anxiety or hopelessness. That feeling then leads you to avoid opportunities or make poor choices, which, you guessed it, creates a self-fulfilling cycle of scarcity. So breaking that negative loop is absolutely crucial.
Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's take a look at a few pretty famous examples. $10 million. That's a huge number, right? And it's at the heart of one of the most famous stories about this stuff, involving an actor we all know long before he was a household name. So this quote, it comes from a check that Jim Carrey, that Jim Carrey, wrote to himself when he was a struggling actor. He made it out for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it years in the future, and kept it in his wallet. And guess what? Years later, he got paid that exact amount for his role in the movie Dumb and Dumber. He had literally programmed his brain for that specific goal. And look, it's not just a one-off Hollywood story. Oprah Winfrey has talked about this for decades, how visualization and a belief in abundance helped build her entire empire. You hear it from countless entrepreneurs who credit this mindset for their big breakthroughs. And it's not just for the mega famous. Everyday people talk about this stuff working, like getting an unexpected bonus just when they needed it, or a new client calling right out of the blue. Okay, so you've seen the science, you've heard the stories, now you're probably asking, how can I do this? Let's break it down into a super simple, practical action plan you can literally start using today. The formula is actually pretty straightforward. There are just 3 parts. First, you need a crystal clear intention. We'll talk more about that in a sec. Second, you have to visualize, and more importantly, feel what it's like to already have it. And third, and this is key, you have to take action that's aligned with that new belief. Now, I really want to double down on that first step because clarity, man, it is everything. Just saying, I want more money is way too vague. Your brain doesn't know what to do with that. But an intention like, I am attracting $10,000 this month through my work and new opportunities, now that gives your RAS a specific target to lock onto.
And this right here, this might just be the most important and most misunderstood part of this whole thing. Manifestation is not passive. It's not about sitting on the couch and just wishing for money to magically appear. It's about getting your mind into a state of belief and then taking inspired, intentional action from that powerful place.
You know, when you boil it all down, it comes back to this one powerful idea. You have to build the foundation for wealth in your mind first. By programming your focus, managing your thoughts and feelings, and then taking action that's aligned with your goals, you create the conditions for wealth to show up in your life. So the real question isn't whether it's possible, it's whether you're willing to do the internal work first.